FC Barcelona have just made the biggest signing this summer, and that is renewing Lamine Yamal for another 6 years. Keep in mind, Lamine Yamal had a contract with Barcelona until 2026. His contract and his time with Barcelona was about to be over. We just had one more season with Yamal, and at this time, right, during these modern times, with these youngsters always try to look for the best and biggest move financially and sportingly. Like, this is a player that we're talking about that is 17 years old, showcases that he has humongous talent, can provide 10 plus goals and 10 plus assists per season. At the age of 17 years old, he had every right to say that I want a bigger wage, and if there's any club out there in Europe that has a bigger wage to offer, I want to go there because my brand is powerful. Lamine Yamal could have said that, and Barcelona, to me, in my opinion, did sign a new player because Lamine Yamal could have he's not even supposed to be here. Okay, based off his trajectory, how good he has been in the past season, Barcelona have been able to convince him to the point where, you know, he's gonna be tied down with us for the next 6 years, and that is huge news because once again, we live at a time where in modern football, these players always look for the biggest contracts. That is what they want, and the fact that Lamine Yamal is going to be earning 9 million euros per season at Barcelona, and that is starting, and that is for the next 2 or 3 years. Like, bro, like you guys damn well know that Lamine Yamal could have easily asked for way more and could have gotten way more, like at teams at Manchester City, PSG, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Arsenal, just like that. Like, he did not have to stay at Barcelona if he wanted more money and more branding power, but he did. And Joan Laporta, Deco, they had enough pull to say that your future should be here and be committed to us until you're 23 years old, which is still very young, by the way. He's still only going to be 23, 24 years old in 6 years. And that's good news. It is great news because now we have reassurance that Yamal is going to represent this badge for at the very least 5 years, because sometimes, you know, these players leave like a year early before the contract ends, or they renew 1 year earlier than before, you know, their contract ends. So 4 to 5 years is really good. We build our project around Yamal, we get the best sporting success possible, and we move forward from there. And I hope that, you know, since Yamal is still going to be very young, right? We're talking about 2031. By that time, he's going to be 24 years old. And I hope that when Yamal is 24 years old and barely about to reach the prime of his career, barely, we're talking about like, dude, like 24 is still very young in football. I hope that by the time he's 24 years old and, you know, he's like, hopefully by that time, he is the best player in the world. If not, like, maybe hopefully surpassing Messi. I would love that, even though I know that's going to be almost impossible, but I hope that he's at that level. I hope that by that time Barcelona can say, you know what, whatever happened 5 to 6 years ago, we're in a much different financial position. We're way stronger than ever before, and hopefully Barcelona's at that point where we can give out massive wages. And I just hope that Barcelona can say, look, Yamal, you're 24 years old, we want to keep you for another 5-6 years, just like what we did with Lionel Messi. And because we were in a much better position, this new renewal, we can offer you 25-26 million euros consistently and growing even more from there. And I hope Barcelona in the future, in 5 to 6 years from today, can say such things. As of now, we're giving him 9 million euros a year, and it's going to grow, right? It's going to go up to 18 million euros by the time we reach those last 2 or 3 years in this contract renewal. So it's going to grow, but we're starting off very small with only 9 million. It's still nowhere near close to the wages of Lewandowski, Frankie de Jong, Jules Koundé, etc., or Rafinha. I'm pretty sure that Lamine Yamal wants to be paid much more, but like I've said, Barcelona have convinced him very well. And also keep in mind that teams like Real Madrid were persistent. Like, they were showing a little bit of interest back in early 2024 and through 2025. There were like some small conversations going on between Jorge Mendes and Real Madrid. Real Madrid were never ever like, I would just say, oh yeah, we have this bid, it exists, and we're gonna offer him the best wages, etc., etc. They just showed slight interest, and Mendes repeatedly responded through those years and months that there is no chance Real Madrid is going to be signing him. The whole move is blocked. It's just not going to happen. And then we moved to Manchester City. We have also heard reports about Manchester City showing interest in Lamine Yamal around early to mid 2024. It peaked in early 2025. It was just not going to happen. Once again, Jorge Mendes said it's not going to happen. His future relies at FC Barcelona. Now, what was definitely super, I would just say, aggressive, and a club that definitely wanted to sign Yamal, and they offered Barcelona actual money, right? Actual euros. It is PSG. PSG wanted Lamine Yamal in the summer of 2024, and they offered Joan Laporta and the rest of the club 250 million euros. Joan Laporta even himself claimed that yes, this is true, that PSG did offer with 250 million euros. That was going to end up being a more expensive transfer than Neymar Jr. But Joan Laporta said no, we blocked this move. They said no, if you want Lamine Yamal, give us 3 billion, 6. That's basically what they're saying. 3-6 billion for Yamal. It's basically just another way of saying this move is blocked. You have no chance. That is it. So PSG also, they offered Lamine Yamal, I'm pretty sure, like a wage of 20 million euros, just like that, because they can. Bayern Munich also showed interest as well, Manchester United as well, but no serious pursuit or contacts were ever reported between Bayern Munich and Manchester United. It was just never going to happen. The only club that got really close to signing Yamal, it was PSG, but even in general, it was not close at all. Barcelona blocked the move. All they wanted to do was to renew Lamine Yamal for the next 6 to 7 years, and they have gotten that. So this is going to be, I kind of want to go into to this other section, talk about the contract extension, talk about the full breakdown in depth, and just speak about why Barcelona are just so keen on renewing the player. So let's talk about the contract extension. So like I've said, going back to this full circle, Yamal signed a 6-year contract with the club, valid until June 2031. It is expected that he will be signing this contract renewal in the next 18 to 24 hours, maybe even sooner. And then, yeah, Jorge Mendes was the one that negotiated everything. Deco wanted him. Joan Laporta wanted him. The salary structure is going to be 9 million euros per year, and that is going to be gross. And in the final few years, I would say about 2 or 3 years, depending on his performances, it's going to go up to 18 million euros gross max. Now, kind of like what we do with like every player, and especially with Messi, when you are such at a high level and you're showing such momentum and you're really bringing Barcelona forward in their when they're going through like slumps through the season, when you have impact like that, obviously Barcelona have shown multiple times that they want to renew the player 2 years before the contract is up. So by the time we get to 2029, it's highly likely that Joan Laporta is going to want to renew Yamal again, and hopefully, and I would assume, because this is what Yamal and the father hustle hard is going to want, that we can offer Yamal maybe 25 million euros a year, and that is only if his trajectory continues to go higher and higher. That's only if, right? If he stays at the same level, or if he drops down in performance like Ansu Fati, obviously do not give him that extra bump in pay. But overall, it's going to be a progressive raise in salary. Yeah, and that's basically it. This also is going to fit the financial fair play compliance. Like, Barcelona is going to be completely okay with that. Even after he signs the renewal, Barcelona can still sign players. We have always been known for a club where the financial fair play does tell us that you can spend only €1 from these €3 that you have saved. We're no longer going to be in that. We're going to be able to renew Yamal with no problem and sign the players that we want in every position. Hansi Flick has stated before that he wants to reinforce every line in the squad, meaning that he wants a brand new goalkeeper, a brand new defender, a brand new midfielder, and a brand new attacker. So there's going to be no problems signing new players because of Yamal's renewal. So going into his performances, Yamal to me has been phenomenal. 53 appearances, 18 goals and 21 assists. I really wished that he found like 2 goals in the match against Athletic Club so we can have a 20 plus 20 season, but unfortunately he ended with 18 goals, 21 assists at 17 years old. 39 goal involvements at just that age is just insanity to me. In terms of his creativity and distribution, 188 shot creating actions through the season, 29 goal creating actions through the season, 14 accurate through balls, 160 progressive passes, 13.9 expected assisted goals, which is insane to me. In terms of dribbling and duel dominance, 161 successful dribbles, 263 ground duels won, 0 red cards, rarely dispossessed at any times, and he showed composure under pressure, which is good. And he also really did improve his composure in front of goal. It was one of the things that he did miss last season under Xavi Hernandez, which was fine. It's okay. Like when you're 16, barely turning 17 years old, of course, your composure is not going to be at all-time high. You're going to be growing from that. And Lamine Yamal, for sure, had a rapid improvement in his composure in front of goal, and that's why he was able to find more goals, more assists, and just overall much more effective. In terms of shooting efficiency, right? 144 shots taken, 46 on target, and 5 goals from outside the box. Really good. In terms of the big performances, I would say that one of them was against Real Madrid. He made 2 appearances going up against Real Madrid with 2 goals in those 2 appearances, had high involvement and big match mentality. There was also performances against Atletico Madrid. He scored 1 goal, or I believe it was 2. I could be wrong. I have to fact check that, but 1 to 2 goals against Atletico Madrid. Strong dueling success rate with an average of 94%, and he showed a lot of positional maturity, always being in the correct spaces all the time against a very compact Atletico Madrid. He also had a great performance against Inter Milan. He scored. He delivered one of the most dominant second half performances of the season, and that was, I believe, in the second leg going up against Inter Milan. Even Zidane praised him by stating, "I have never seen anything like that in my entire life." So there's been a lot of people. It's not just me. It's not just because I'm a Barcelona fan that I'm saying that, you know, Yamal is just so good and that he's the best right winger in the world and better than Salah. There's other credible people out there with expertise, you know, like Zidane, who are stating the exact same thing. Zidane stated, "Unbelievable. He has unbelievable control and maturity. Never seen a second half like this against Inter Milan." We even have the Inter coach himself, Simeone, who has stated he's a once in a lifetime, a player that you only see once every 50 years. Hansi Flick has stated he's special, a genius with the ball. We even have a pundit, I believe his name was Stephen Warnock, who stated he is a future Ballon d'Oro winner. And I do hope that Lamine Yamal is in the top 3 for the Ballon d'Oro contender list this year, because I think that he deserves it. In terms of awards, Kopa Trophy winner, best under 23 player in world football. He was included in the FIFA Best 11 of 2024. In terms of the Euro 2024 tournament last year, best young player, and he was also champion with Spain. He also won La Liga. He also won the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup. His chemistry with the Barcelona players is growing more and more. With Lewandowski, with Rafinha, with Pedri, with Gavi, and especially with one of the most important players that you must pair up with well, Eric Garcia and Jules Koundé. Lamine Yamal understands Koundé, Koundé understands Yamal, Eric Garcia understands Yamal, and Yamal understands Eric Garcia, which is why on that right flank for Hansi Flick going into the next season, we're going to be fine. Combining Yamal's progression with also his overlapping runs, it's going to be insane to see those tight triangles being implemented on the right side. In terms of his tactical evolution, I remember when we first saw him, he was simply just a right winger that found passes from outside the box, but now he's starting to become a player that can shoot from outside the box and score those goals. That is his signature move, right? His signature goal is the fact that he can shoot from outside the box into the top left corner. Even though the goalkeeper studies Yamal over and over again, it just seems like those goalkeepers cannot block those curl shots. It's too hard, right? It's basically whatever you see with Declan Rice, and you saw that free kick against Real Madrid in the top right corner. Yamal can do that, but you plus it with dribbling. It's insane. His final ball decision making has improved. His defensive pressing has improved. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when he backtracks and has to defend with Jules Koundé, Yamal wins the ball like 80% of the time. He's a really good defender. I remember like Guardiola said something very similar about Messi. He was stating that if Messi is a center back, he'll be the best center back in the world. If he has to defend, he's the best defender in the world. It's just something about that, you know, the fact that these players have such high football IQ, they can just play in every different position, go into those areas and act like they have to play as a right back or left back or center back and do that well. So it's something to really think about, right? Something that Guardiola clearly thought about, and I'm starting to see that with Yamal. He's one hell of a defender, and he has resistance in physical play. When we see like let's just say for example Mendy, Di Marco, whoever was out there, Alaba, like anybody, or Rudiger, when they try to like physically take down Yamal had that physical capability to stand strong and continue with the attacking play. So that is it, right? Barcelona is locking down a generational talent. You can only see that at FC Barcelona, and not just because we bought the player, but because we have raised the player. We have brought him through La Masia. La Masia produced a generational talent, and we're locking him down between the ages of 17 to 24 years old. It's gonna be insane to see his progression, and I just cannot wait. I'm so gonna be here for this journey. It preserves La Masia's identity as well, the Catalan DNA in the first team. It shows clear long-term planning under Flick, Deco, and Joan Laporta, who have done a phenomenal job so far. I'm extremely pleased with what Deco and Flick and Laporta have been able to do together, and I hope that they just continue with the exact same success, and we have a very strong summer 2025 transfer window. Lamine Yamal's new contract isn't just about football, it's a symbol of Barcelona's future, and that is it, right? He's going to be held as the next great of the game, and he will be wearing the Barcelona shirt, and he's the pillar for sure for the next decade. And once again, I hope that we can all enjoy this together. That is it, right? That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.